Tonight, on First at 9 this Tuesday, the 11th of November 2025. Re-scrutiny. Reconsider decision to reject National Delimitation Report. Commissioner General of Elections urges Parliament, highlighting the report's importance in holding provincial elections. Investment protection. Sri Lanka to draft a new Investment Security Act aimed at preventing arbitrary nationalisation of private enterprises. Selective disbursement. The 1,000 plus cabs to be imported by the government will not be provided to all 225 MPs, reveals Cabinet spokesperson. Opposition leader and Chief Opposition Whip to not receive new vehicles.
Kalin baby so rupial anuwakata. Kalin baby podi hamotamai.
From Derana, this is Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to First at 9 on Sri Lanka's premium news provider, Derana News Channel. I'm Tarindu Mahendra, joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. We begin with your top story this evening. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa accuses the President and government of deceiving the public with false promises, claiming that the 2026 budget reflects the International Monetary Fund's agenda rather than the government's own policies. He made these remarks in Parliament today during the third day of the debate on the 2026 budget.
Three mandates were granted in the presidential election, general election and the local government elections. But after receiving all three mandates, today we are witnessing the newest version of the movie, The Broken Promise. I asked President Anura Dissanayake, why did you deceive the people of this country like this? There has never been such a deception in our recent history. Even state officials, including those in uniform, were misled. Didn't you promise to reduce the 9,000 rupee electricity bill to 6,000? Didn't you promise to reduce electricity tariffs by 33%? It is 100% clear that the author of this year's budget is the IMF. What has happened to our farmers now? They are on the streets. The saddest part is that those who once represented the proletariat class have now forgotten them. I remember the president once advised us to either divide, separate or unite as parties. We do not need his advice. We will unite, but our unity will not be built on promises of V8 permits, ministerial or deputy ministerial portfolios or chairmanships. The unity will be based solely on policy and principle. Now they say this budget was not drafted by the government, that we are puppets of the IMF. Sometimes they claim this is a neoliberal budget. Before that they said we were trying to bring back a communist system. It seems the opposition cannot understand the strategic direction of the NPP. They remain trapped in their traditional mindset, unable to move forward. On the matter of the vehicles, I challenged the opposition leader to have all opposition MPs refusing to accept any vehicles provided by the government. As Rohana Vijayvira once said, whether we go by helicopter or on foot, we will develop this country no matter what. That is who we are. The president now says not to protest when he gives away land for development. It wasn't us who protested, it was them in the past. When we built expressways, they protested against it. Maybe if they hadn't protested, we could have completed the entire expressway network by now. When constructing the port city, they said we would even have to destroy Sigiriya to build it. But the port city is complete and Sigiriya still stands unharmed. Now they say they will make the port city an investment hub for Sri Lanka. If they had said that earlier, we could have completed the project long ago. If there are truly 1 trillion rupees in the treasury, why can't they provide a solution to the farmers' issue? They seem to have enough money to buy 1,775 cabs. It's even ironic, they once said they would take the bus or the train. Now from next month onwards, they can ride in their cabs instead.
This attitude reflects a kind of inferiority complex. It sounds like they are accusing us, saying these were their plans from 2010 or 2015 that we are now implementing. But the truth is, you didn't do it then. That's the issue. If you had done your duty, we wouldn't need to do it now.
ඔබේ සම හඳුනාගෙන ඖෂධීය ශාකසාරමය forever face wash එකක් භාවිතා කරන්න.
අප වෙනුවෙන් කැපවූ ලංකාවේ අපේ අංක එකේ dialogue.
Cabinet spokesperson Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says the government will not provide vehicles to cabinet ministers, deputy ministers, the opposition leader or the chief opposition whip. Speaking at the cabinet briefing today, the minister further stated that vehicle permits will not be issued to any MP due to their misuse for personal profit in the past. He added that the majority of vehicles due to be imported under the budget will be allocated for essential state services.
කතාවේදී ජනාධිපතිතුමා සඳහන් කරා මේ කැබ් රථ 1875ක් රාජ්‍ය සේවයට මිලදී ගැනීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් මේ 1875 කාටද දෙන්නේ?
වාහන නඩත්තු වෙවිලා පෞද්ගලිකව മന്ത്രിවරයා දරා ගන්න ඕනද එහෙම නැත්නම් රජය දෙනවද?
මම ඔබට ආරාධනා කරන්න කැමතියි ගිහිලා බලන්න ප්‍රාදේශීය ලේකම් කාර්යාලවල.
I invite you to visit our local government institutions, medical officers and other government establishments and ask any government employee about the condition of the vehicles currently in use. In many of these institutions, the newest vehicles were purchased around 2014. Most vehicles still in operation were acquired in the early 2000s. We aim to achieve a 7% economic growth rate going forward. To support this, we have allocated 1.385 trillion rupees for capital expenditure development projects for next year. This amount will gradually increase to between 1.5 and 1.6 trillion in the years ahead. To ensure that this economic growth reaches the people, we need an efficient and productive public sector. To build such a system, we have taken several measures. First, we filled existing vacancies. Next, we increased base salaries to ensure that employees can work with satisfaction. We are also moving forward with the digitalization of the public sector. Alongside these reforms, we have approved the purchase of 1,775 cabs for the state sector. However, these vehicles will not be provided to all 225 members of parliament. Those who already have vehicles, such as cabinet ministers, deputy ministers, the leader of the opposition and the chief opposition whip, will not receive new ones. In the past, granting vehicle permits to MPs caused significant losses to the government. Many MPs sold their permits for profit. Moreover, regardless of whether a vehicle was purchased, all MPs received a fuel allowance and were also entitled to low interest loans for vehicle maintenance or tire replacement. We are now changing this system. Those who want to sell their vehicle permits are the same individuals spreading rumors that providing vehicle permits is beneficial. Instead, the government will provide vehicles directly to MPs, which they must return after 5 years. This will save a considerable amount of money for the government even if the state covers maintenance cost. Out of the 1,775 cabs, the majority will go to essential public services such as the health sector, which has requested 271 vehicles. Additionally, MPs from both the government and opposition who have not been provided with vehicles will receive one to facilitate their public service duties. As we stated during our election campaign, we will provide the necessary facilities for everyone to fulfill their duties, but we will not issue vehicle permits for personal profits.
හම්බ කරගන්න permit දෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Government has decided to draft a new Investment Security Act to prevent the arbitrary nationalisation of private enterprises and guarantee policy stability related to investments. Meanwhile, Cabinet approval was also granted to restructure the Sri Lanka Housing Development Finance Corporation Bank and the State Mortgage and Investment Bank. With that is more on these and other key decisions taken during this week's Cabinet meeting.
Cabinet approved the transfer of government shares in the Sri Lanka Housing Development Finance Corporation Bank to Bank of Ceylon and the acquisition of all the shares of the State Mortgage and Investment Bank by People's Bank. This restructuring follows central bank warnings over the weak capital adequacy, low profitability and limited market presence of the two banks. Cabinet approved in principle the establishment of multimodal transport hubs across key cities to integrate bus, train and taxi transport services for a more efficient public transport network. The initiative aligns with the government's national transport modernization policy, with priority projects identified in Kandy, Colombo Fort, Anuradhapura, Moratuwa, Ragama, Gampaha and other major urban centres. Cabinet approval was also granted for the implementation of a national project to upgrade 880 small bridges under local government authorities from 2026 to 2029 at an estimated cost of 6.79 billion rupees. The project aims to enhance rural connectivity and safety, addressing deteriorated bridge infrastructure that endangers school children, farmers and local communities. Cabinet also greenlit the procurement of 30 large buses, 10 medium-sized buses, 10 vans, 5 gully buses and 3 tractors for the Department of Prisons to strengthen transport and inmate welfare operations. The contracts were awarded to Lanka Ashok Leyland, Toyota Lanka, Solex Technologies and Browns & Company following recommendations of the High-Level Procurement Committee. Cabinet approved the replacement of fuel tanks number 30 and 31 at the Kolonava terminal, with new tanks of 7,000 and 15,000 cubic meter capacity funded by the Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminal Company. The move supports the company's plan to maintain a 45-day national fuel reserve and ensure an uninterrupted petroleum supply. Cabinet approved the drafting of a new Investment Security Act to safeguard private properties and enterprises from arbitrary nationalization. The law will establish an investment security board to resolve disputes, ensure policy stability and strengthen investor confidence. Cabinet also approved the implementation of 4 pilot pipeline irrigation projects in the northwestern and Uva provinces to replace traditional open canals. The initiative, funded by $3.3 million from the Japan Foundation for Prosperous and Resilient Asia and the Pacific, and the Asian Development Bank, and $1.68 million from the government, aims to reduce water wastage, support small farmers, and enhance agricultural productivity.
Do what you do, let the world look up to you. Shoot what you see, be who you wanna be. Search with a smile, create your own style. Gemini Live, make moments come alive. Be anywhere, rock anytime. With awesome AI by your side. Be anywhere, rock anytime. Be brilliant, be always intelligent. Download fast, stream it all night. One tap, move, everything feel right. Snap it clean, edit like a pro. Smarter with Gemini, let the magic flow.
Introducing Samsung Galaxy A17 5G. The power to be always intelligent.
Maldivian police officially confirmed that the Sri Lankan fishing vessel taken into custody in Maldivian territorial waters was carrying over 335 kilograms of narcotics. The haul is believed to be the largest drug seizure ever recorded within Maldivian territorial waters.
The vessel, which had illegally entered Maldivian waters, was intercepted on November 7th by Maldivian security forces, and 5 Sri Lankan fishermen on board were taken into custody. The trawler was subjected to a special search operation yesterday under a warrant obtained from court. According to Maldivian police, the vessel, a Sri Lankan fishing trawler, was carrying over 335 kilograms of narcotics. Authorities reportedly discovered 58 kilograms and 600 grams of heroin, along with 297 kilograms and 300 grams of crystal methamphetamine concealed in 24 bags. The haul is the largest drug seizure ever recorded within Maldivian territorial waters.
We have seized 1,493 kilograms of heroin, 15,500 kilograms of cannabis, 32 kilograms of cocaine, 104 kilograms of hashish, 2,554 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine, and around 4 million narcotic tablets and capsules so far in 2025, and legal proceedings have been initiated.
Meanwhile, 5 suspects, including 3 men and 2 women, were arrested yesterday by Colombo Crime Division for allegedly aiding and abetting the shooting in Kotahena last Friday. The suspects were nabbed near the Chemmani Junction along the A9 highway in Jaffna. A car and a mobile phone were also seized by the police. The suspects are said to have provided lodging and transportation to the gunmen, and police are conducting further investigations into the incident. In the meantime, police seized a firearm suspected to have been used in the Kotahena murder, along with the suspect at Alvistown, Wattala. The firearm was discovered when police chased down a car which fled after crashing into another car and a police motorcycle. The driver was confirmed to be a member of the Ava gang from Jaffna. Information revealed by the suspect led to the apprehension of another member of the gang. The 2 arrestees were later produced before the Valisara Magistrates Court, where a 3-month detention order was issued against the suspects. Meanwhile, Gampaha District Parliamentarian of the National People's Power Chaminda Lalit Kumara today lodged a complaint with the Mirigama police, urging legal action against claims circulating on social media implicating him in drug trafficking.
At least 13 people were killed and more than 20 wounded when a car exploded last night near the Red Fort in New Delhi. Security forces have been placed on high alert across major Indian states and cities as authorities have launched an investigation into the blast.
At 6:52 p.m. local time, a powerful, high-intensity blast tore through a crowded neighborhood in New Delhi during the evening rush hour, killing at least 13 and injuring 20 others. According to Delhi police, the explosion originated in a moving Hyundai i20 car. The blast took place at a traffic signal close to the entrance of the metro station serving the Red Fort, one of the city's most renowned Mughal-era monuments. The site lies at a busy intersection linking the Red Fort with the bustling Chandni Chowk market, where the impact of the explosion was felt. Delhi police have invoked India's primary counter-terrorism law, registering a case under sections 16 and 18 of the Unlawful Activities Prevention and Provisions of the Explosives Act. CCTV images emerged showing the white Hyundai i20 that exploded parked in the parking lot near the fort for over 3 hours, entering at 3:19 p.m. and leaving around 6:30 p.m. Investigations revealed a link between the blast and a white-collar terror cell originating just 50 kilometers from the capital in neighboring Haryana's Faridabad. 3 weeks before the blast, posters supporting the terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed appeared in several parts of Srinagar. Jammu and Kashmir police then launched an investigation which would bring them to Uttar Pradesh, Haryana and the national capital. The investigation also revealed a fundamental shift in terror recruitment, which Jammu and Kashmir police described as a white-collar terror ecosystem. The arrests of 2 Kashmiri doctors, Adil Ahmed Radha and Muzammil Shakil, led to the recovery of a huge amount of material used in bomb making. According to security agencies, the 2,900 kilograms of bomb-making material recovered from 2 rooms in Faridabad is suspected to be ammonium nitrate. Initial findings suggest that the same chemical was used in the blast near the Red Fort. Indian media said that Dr. Umar Mohammed, the suspect identified as the driver of the exploded car, reportedly panicked and triggered the blast near the Red Fort after investigators arrested 2 key members of the cell and seized the explosives. As the probe continues, investigators today took 3 more doctors from Faridabad's Al-Falah University into custody. Meanwhile, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, reacting to the blast, assured that agencies are working to uncover the full conspiracy and that the guilty will not be spared.
Today I have come here with a very heavy heart. The horrific incident that took place in Delhi yesterday evening has saddened everyone. I was in touch with all the agencies involved in investigating this incident and all the important people throughout last night. Discussions were going on. Strings of information were being connected. Our agencies will get to the bottom of this conspiracy. The conspirators behind this will not be spared.
All those responsible will be brought to justice.
President Anuradha Dissanayake, in a post on X, expressed solidarity with the people of India. Minister of Foreign Affairs Vijay Herath also took to X, expressing his condolences for the affected.
Meanwhile, in Pakistan, a suicide bomber killed at least 12 people and wounded 27 outside a court building in Islamabad today. The bombing occurred near the entrance of one of the lower courts in Islamabad at around lunchtime, when the area is typically crowded. The bomber had tried to enter the court building on foot but detonated the device outside, close to a police vehicle, after waiting there for 10 to 15 minutes. Several of the wounded are in critical condition. Separately, a suicide bomber killed 3 people when he detonated his car at the entrance to the military school yesterday evening in South Waziristan near the Afghan border. No group has so far claimed responsibility for either of the attacks. Welcome back to First at 9. The National People's Power lost its inaugural budget of the Kandakatiya Pradesh Sabha by 4 votes today. However, the NPP managed to pass the inaugural budget of the Arachikattuwa Pradesh Sabha in Puttalam with backing from the United National Party.
Local government bodies across the country are currently in the process of adopting their respective budgets for the year 2026. The Kandakatiya Pradeshya Sabha, governed by the National People's Power, presented its budget today. The chairman of the council tabled 2026 budget, which received support from 6 NPP councillors. However, 4 councillors from the Samaga Jana Balawegaya, 2 each from the People's Alliance and the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna, and 1 each from the United National Party and Sarva Jana Bale voted against it. As a result, the 2026 budget of the Kandakatiya Pradeshya Sabha was defeated by a majority of 4 votes. Meanwhile, the Arachikattuwa Pradeshya Sabha in Puttalam convened today for its maiden budget session. During the vote, councillors representing Samaga Jana Balawegaya, Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna, People's Alliance and the independent group voted against the proposal, while the UNP and NPP voted in favour, resulting in a tie. The chairman elected from the NPP exercised his deciding vote, enabling the NPP to secure the budget's passage. The Meghalaya Pradeshya Sabha, also under NPP administration, managed to pass its 2026 budget today through a deciding vote as well. A total of 9 councillors, including the chairman, voted in favour, while another 9 councillors, comprising 4 from the SJB, 2 from the People's Alliance, 2 from the SLPP and 1 from Sarva Jana Bale, opposed it. UNP councillor SMLH Jayawardena was absent from the session. Given the deadlock, Chairman TM Kumarathissa used his deciding vote in favour of the proposal, allowing the NPP to pass the budget by a narrow margin. Meanwhile, the Chilla Municipal Council, also led by the NPP, succeeded in passing its 2026 budget with a narrow one-vote majority. During the session, 9 votes were cast against the budget proposal, but 9 NPP councillors and 1 independent councillor voted in favour, ensuring its passage. The SLPP councillor abstained from voting. Meanwhile, the inaugural budget of the North Tandi Pradeshiya Sabha was also passed with a majority of 14 votes, supported by councillors of the People's Alliance, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and an independent councillor. Meanwhile, a protest took place at the Matugama Pradeshiya Sabha over the murder of its secretary and the chairman of the Valigama Pradeshiya Sabha. Protesting councillors claimed the secretary had failed to cooperate with the chairman in carrying out official duties for several months.
Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sriratnayaka urges Parliament to reconsider the decision to reject the National Delimitation Report. He notes that acceptance of the report is crucial in clearing the way for the long-delayed provincial council elections to be held.
An event was held yesterday at the Lakshman Kadirgamur Institute in celebration of the recent achievement of the Election Commission. The Sri Lankan Election Commission was awarded Electoral Commission of the Year at the 21st International Electoral Awards hosted by the Independent Electoral Commission of Botswana and the International Centre for Parliamentary Studies. During the event, the People's Action for Free and Fair Elections organised a felicitation ceremony to appreciate the service of Commissioner General of Elections Saman Sriratnayaka, who is due to retire.
Not
only elections, but we also completed the National Delimitation Report in time. The findings of the report are what prevent us from holding the provincial council elections. This is owing to several factors, including the 40-day coup and political turmoil. All 2025 members of Parliament rejected the National Delimitation Report without proper examination. I request that they reconsider it, especially since we await another election. We submitted 42 proposals to 2 parliamentary committees. This is the ideal time to approve these amendments. I also request that all political parties reform their internal political structures accordingly. That is one of the biggest issues we are confronted with. There is a pressing need for an act regulating the registration of political parties. In 2023, there was an issue as to whether the Attorney General should represent the Election Commission or the Finance Ministry. It was clear that the AG had to represent the higher authority. What happens to us? It was despite such obstacles that we achieved this international accolade. You might wonder how Sri Lanka's Election Commission achieved an international accolade in a context where we struggle to hold the local government elections and the provincial council elections have been delayed. It is true that we are unable to hold the provincial council elections. However, that is due to factors outside of the Election Commission's control. The Election Commission must be empowered with the necessary legal framework. Though Sri Lanka does not possess a proper electoral map, we are a country which systematically conducted all required elections. All of the Election Commission's minute accomplishments over the years were crucial in today's achievements. When the new president was sworn in, we requested that he ratify the amendments to election laws which remained unchanged for a considerable amount of time. Nearly 2 years have passed since the government came into power. We request all members of parliament to pass these new laws as soon as possible. If allocating funds for election was mandated by the constitution, democracy could be safeguarded regardless of the reluctance some parties may feel when elections approach. In countries like Australia, voting has been made mandatory. I believe that is worth considering. The Election Commission remained a trustworthy institution even when presidents acted dictatorially. At present, only certain media outlets consider themselves above the law. Even the president and high-ranking officers of the police are subject to the law. Now, no one is above the law. With regard to provincial council elections, our stance is that they should be held. The necessary legislation must be drafted. I believe we can make the necessary interventions in that regard.
With that, let's take a look at views presented in the political arena today.
Mahinda Rajapaksa led the Padayatra march from Kataragama to Colombo and later took over the government. Similarly, we marched to Colombo from Kandy and assumed power. Our Nugegoda rally on the 21st is not an attempt to chase the government away, to remind the government who secured power by lying to the public to finally fulfill all promises made to the public. Our rally intends to push this government, which assumed power through deception, to keep the promises it made. We believe that the rest of the opposition will support us even if the opposition leader boycotts the event. At least one politician from each party that refuses to officially join us will be on stage at the rally. I serve as a member of the party's management committee, the working committee, and also a member of the party's parliamentarians committee. As far as I know, the party has decided against being a part of the rally. Even if the party decided to join the rally, I will not be joining it. I will never forget the racist rumors spun regarding forced sterilization allegedly performed by Dr. Shafi and the forced incineration of the remains of deceased COVID victims. However, we will also not stand against this rally. Those bogged down with lawsuits and those with the threat of incarceration looming over them are in such a rush. We do not feel such a rush. We have not decided yet. In my opinion, this decision must be taken after thorough discussion. All opposition parties cannot contest the polls under one coalition. The party alone will decide which other parties to unite with and the time for such a deal. The Sarvajana Bale never had an idea to secure power through whatever corruption means necessary first and then wonder what to do next. We intend to secure power by implementing the plans we have already formulated. The Sarvajana Bale does not advocate petty moves like setting transformers on fire to assume power. The SLPP's 6.9 million voter base dwindled to 250,000 and now stands at 1 million votes. This is very similar to the NPP's predicament today. The cooperative society elections are a clear depiction of this reality. Therefore, if someone is delusioned by the actual support they have and if they refuse to take part in the rallies since they overestimate their popularity, that is indeed unfortunate. The International Fisheries Day falls on the 21st. There will be an exhibition organized to celebrate that occasion at the Lotus Tower premises in Colombo. The exhibition will be called Aquaplanet 2025 Sri Lanka. Opposition members will sometimes visit our exhibition at the Lotus Tower premises. Certain members of the opposition may even attend the exhibition. We in fact invite them to visit it.
Welcome back to First at 9. The Colombo Bourse closed in positive territory today as a result of price gains in counters such as Richard Peary's and Company, Dialog Asiata and DFCC Bank. The benchmark ASBI gained 0.34% to close at 23,582.16, while the more liquid S&P Sri Lanka 20 increased by 0.44% to end the day at 6,528.60. Market turnover was 8.22 billion rupees. The capital goods sector was the highest contributor to market turnover, followed by the banking sector. Foreign participation in market activity remained at subdued levels, with foreigners closing as net buyers, purchasing shares worth 150 million rupees. With that, here's a look at today's foreign exchange rates. That's all for tonight from First at 9. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.